Hello everyone, welcome to today's portrait drawing practice. It's so nice to have you all here. I see that 14 of you are here, that is amazing. Tommy needs to watch the replay, have fun. Tommy made it, excellent. The kids are in bed. I just got my kids to bed too. And the rabbits, I managed to put 3 kids and 5 rabbits to bed, so it's all good. Corinna, kia ora, Klaus, Tommy, who I just said, Ed, Dale, Astrid, Jörg, Annette, Ike, Kiki. So nice to have you all here. We are going to be working from this super cool reference of Akhil, which has been, I found on the Museum by Sketchy app. And it was shared by Deepti Venugopal, who is on Instagram as @BlaBlaArt, and Akhil's account, which is a private account, and I don't know if he's going to see this, but is this one. And Deepti said that Akhil is into origami, calligraphy, and collects fountain pens. How good's that? Fountain pens. So the parallel pen, I guess, is a fountain pen. I like this pen very much, and that's what I'm going to work with. We're focusing on shadow shapes, kind of, as we're drawing. I'm in my ink spread, and have a nice spot here, ready for Akhil's portrait. And I just wanted to show you, because I just finished it today. Hola, Lewis. Nicole, hello. I got my Patreon tutorial uploaded, which only took me like a week to do. So it's up now, and we drew Melina Gubernik, and it was lots of fun, and I had to do it all 2 times, which I mentioned at the start of the week. And it's up now. So Patreon supporters, you can go check that out. Lots of pure line drawing practice. These are all pretty brief drawings, and I feel like lots of brief drawings, and also different materials, and a different muse every time. Every one of these drawings looks different, and none of them really look like Melina, but they were all really good drawing exercises. So check that out on my Patreon. I'm pretty sure the link is in the description. And it's so funny because I have like double versions of all of these. There's like 2 of each. Hello, Shannon, and they're all unique. It's interesting. What do I do with all of these drawings that I have? Let's draw Akhil. Hello, Maya. Hello, Rachel. It's nice to just ramble a bit in the beginning, and then some more friends come and join. So good. All right. I realized, Shannon, I was looking and listening to the replay of Drawn Together with Andrew Kadima, and at the very end we were all like, let's all get in really close to our microphones and talk like this. Hello, Beata. And I realized that when I'm really close to my microphone, it sounds so much better. But it's also, now I'm like reaching up under it so I can be really close to the microphone. This would be a good time to ask any questions you may have, and I could respond to them as I draw. So I hope there's enough ink in this pen. Oh no, there isn't. I'll use a different one. It's not as good. I don't like it as much, but I have used it a lot. It is good as well. But this is the Herlitz My Pen, it's called, with a 1.4 millimeter nib. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more ink in this one, so I'll use this one instead. Yeah, so having redrawn, edited my latest Patreon video, which is about pure line, that concludes the pure line phase of my life for now. And we're focusing on shadow shapes here. So shapes, it's still line. Like line is just, at least in the way that I work, line is always relevant. Yeah, but now I'm kind of expanding out beyond the line into the idea of shadow shape. Shapes, just shapes basically. It's all about shapes. Everything's all abstract shapes. What's everyone up to? We should all swallow our mics on Thursday. Yes. So in case you haven't seen the news, Andrew Kadima is joining us again on Thursday, and we're going to be really close to our microphones. Perhaps then we don't have to talk so loud, but we'll sound smooth, and it'll be great. It was funny re-listening to our conversation with Andrew. So many funny things about it. It was really long. It was like 3.5 hours. And I remember at some point we were kind of like, does he want to go? But it was time. It was time to end it anyway, because it was like way after bedtime for me. But yeah, we get to continue our conversation with Andrew. So people can think of all the things that they want to ask Andrew. He's been doing a lot since we spoke, which was like 1.5 years ago. He's got this really cool oil painting sketchbook of villains, and he's filling this book with amazing paintings of villains. He's been teaching some live workshops. He's uploaded an hour-long tutorial, which apparently is a first for him, to his YouTube channel just a couple of days ago. So he's super famous for like the 30-second long amazing paintings. They take longer than 30 seconds, but they're all edited and funny and like experimental and cool. Like, he's super famous for those. But yeah, so he's just uploaded a 1-hour tutorial, oil painting tutorial, onto his YouTube. And I noticed he's just been giving some attention to his YouTube recently, and it's exploded because he's just really good at it. So it'll be interesting maybe about, there are all sorts of things we'll be able to talk about. We can ask about I don't know if it's a pivot or it's just putting down another route towards YouTube. But whatever you would like to ask him, you can already a Barry White impression. I could do all sorts of impressions. I don't know. I like doing different voices. I like reading picture books and to my kids, and I really get into the voices. We have really cool books by the picture book author and illustrator Johnny Duddle, who I would also love to have on Drawn Together. I met him at the illustration masterclass, and I learnt to walk on his lawn in Wales. And he's got these cool books: The Pirates Next Door, The Pirate Cruncher, The Pirates of Scurvy Sands. They're really cool. All right, thinking about shadow shapes here. So here we've got these eyebrows, which are great shapes. There's also there's a lot happening towards the shadow side of the face, which is shadow shapey. Some pretty soft transitions though, so I'll kind of keep that pretty light. But then there are, here from this shadow to the moustache, beautiful shapes. So good. I was just going to say, with Johnny Duddle's books, I really get into the voices. The pirates and the parrots and the monster, and it's fun. Kiki has organized her workspace. That's exciting. I do that periodically. Shannon has no agenda for Thursday, just wants to hang out. Cool. Who's that? Why do pirates talk like that? Arr, matey, and all that. Why do pirates talk like that? Arr. What is a pirate's favorite letter? R. I don't know. I've never actually heard a genuine, authentic pirate talking. I just have all these ideas in my head about how they talk, which is kind of like a mix of accents. Oh, a bedtime reminder. Did everyone hear that? My phone's just telling me to go to bed. Oh, wind down. It's time to start winding down. Calm down. It's time to go to bed. That was a sweet little music box moment. I've never heard that from my phone before. Do other people's phones do that? Tell them to start getting ready for bed? I'm liking this drawing. I do like this pen. It's just not as broad as the parallel pen. So it's good, like with smaller tools, you can just scale down your drawing. Or inverse, if you have a bigger surface to draw on, you just scale up your tools. So I've had the delight of paintings on some houses, and the first time I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, it could be anything. And then at the time I was doing lots of sketchbook pages just full of portraits, and I was like, maybe I should just make it like a giant sketchbook page. And I was using this very pen in that sketchbook, and then I was like, yeah, I'll just make it a wall full of portraits. And then I was like, I guess I just need big flat brushes, and it'll be just like working with the calligraphy pen. And it pretty much was. The broadest brush I had, oh, you can't see it, but was like really broad, like 30 centimeters, I think. Which I didn't use a lot, but I had it and I used it sometimes. But other big flat brushes, and just used it, thinking of it as if it were a calligraphy pen stroke. Is everyone here in the chat? Oh, Funny Olivier is fashionably late. Welcome, it's nice to have you here, so fashionable. We are doing well. How is everyone else? Converse in the chat. Feel free to interact and bond and talk about anything. Have conversations parallel to this drawing experience. All the real pirates just talk like boat thieves. They took out the red-haired lady abduction scene from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. I'm not sure about that. I'm no expert on Pirates of the Caribbean. I felt like maybe I was about to say something. Fill in the gaps for me. What was I about to say? What would you like me to say? You could write something in the chat and I will say it. Shannon, are you live streaming today? Asked Kiki. I have recently been thinking, how did I do all these 10-minute portrait streams in December? Because now it seems like that was 10 minutes. And it feels like the halfway mark. It's like, I guess it's a bit more relaxed. How do other people feel about it when they go longer? Because it was really fun doing 10-minute portraits, and it was great fun doing 5-minute portraits. But how is it when it's like this? Like, I also enjoy this. So what are my shadow shapes here? I've got this shape. The shadows are mostly on this side of the face, right? Here on the eye, we have the facial hair shapes, and there's this cool strap hanging over here, and the strap is going to be darker. And in the tutorial, when I make the tutorial, I'll go much more into recognizing and making these shapes, but it's a constant looking and assessing of all these different shapes and how they relate to each other to put things in place. I'll put another 10-minute timer on just to see if that helps. Hello, Victoria. Oh, what a question. Victoria's here with another question. I really like the one about what artist would I talk to. Shadow says heck no about live streaming, but she'll be there on Thursday for Drawn Together. Men used to call out, "We want the redhead," and there was a red-haired, scantily clad woman on the pier. Really? Okay. I'll think a bit about the tale that I would like to illustrate. And Tommy says, if you like pirate books, you should read about the giant pear of Martin Strid. It's super fun with great illustrations and lots of opportunities to do voices. Cool. Oh, look at that. I put a 10-minute timer on and I spent a minute just reading robots. If I would illustrate any book or fairy tale, what would I choose? So I'll probably go back over the really dark shapes, or maybe I'll leave it like this. But I love the combination of this brilliant black ink, it's called Brilliant Black by Pelican, and some water. Just wet it and push it around. I really like it. It turns a drawing into a painting. There's like a collection of stories that have been, I feel like I don't even know them all, but the plant Holunder, which is elder, which looks nothing like the elder wand in Harry Potter. It looks like it's not made of elder, but elder is a very special plant. And for a good important time of my life, I was making flutes from elder, and in German it's called Holunder. And there is a goddess called Frau Holle, and in a lot of the Grimm's tales or that kind of fairy tale stuff, there are stories about Frau Holle, and there are a few that are passed on, and she's kind of been, in some of the tellings, kind of transformed into a diminutive, kindly old lady who's shaking out her bedding in winter to create the snow. But in the full-on old stories, which through various phases in history, certain institutions and ways of thinking have tried to be rid of certain stories. But she was a full-on birth and death goddess, and the elder tree is her tree, and there's all sorts of stories about it, which I learned some of these stories as I was learning to build flutes. And so I guess that would be my answer. It would be really cool if I could find out more about her stories and illustrate some of those. I think that would be really cool, because Holunder and Frau Holle have been significant in my life. So I think that's my answer. It's not... think of fairy tales. It's kind of like fairy tale stuff, but it's in Germany people know about Frau Holle. I think a lot of people do, but I think also a lot of people don't realize the magnitude of her significance. And there's actually a mountain which I used to be able to see out my window before we moved house 5 years ago. And this mountain is the Frau Holleberg, the Hohen Meißner in Hessen is the Frau Holleberg. And it is a beautiful, like the landscape is so nice. The mountain is so nice. It's interesting because it's not a mountainous region, but there is this one big mountain standing in the midst of things. And I spent some time there. And apparently there are lots of places around that mountain that have stories. And this is something I totally love in Germany. That a lot of fairy tales and stuff, the actual places like where these stories originate from, they're all around the place. And it was mind-blowing for me when I first I remember meeting someone who was like, oh yeah, Sleeping Beauty's castle, that's just like an hour's drive from here. And I was like, that place exists? You can go to Sleeping Beauty's castle? What? Because part of what drew me to coming over here and being interested was just like old stories, which growing up in the colony of so-called Australia, there are ancient stories there, but not the European stories, and a lot has not been focused. I feel like I've become more aware of things like a resurgence and an honouring of the first peoples of the land and their stories. But there was something I found growing up like captivating about like old stories and stuff. And so when I came to Europe, it was really interesting to see these ancient places. But Australia was colonized, or it began just like 200 and a bit years ago. It's not that long ago. And when I first met Kira, she lived in a house that was older than Australia, like the settling of Australia. And I was like, what? People living here before the colonizers had even set sail and didn't even know about all of these other lands and stuff. And it's interesting to be in a place that's like where there's just so much old stuff. And I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people may not be acutely aware of the stories, but somehow it's it's in the land and in the people some way. So I feel like taking part in a retelling, a reimagining, and a illustration of some such stories, I think that could be really interesting. What have people been saying? Robots at Walt Disney World. Oh, there was a redhead robot, and I'm not sure. Corinna, I think pirate books started with the Cornish West country pirates, the pirates of Penzance. So many ships got wrecked on that coastline when false lighthouses, cliffside fires led the ships astray. Lots of rum was pilfered. Interesting. Kiki, problem with organising my workspace. Now I have to remember where I put the brush pen. Never-Ending Story by Michael Ende would be fun to draw. That would be cool to draw. That book is like so much better than the film, The Never-Ending Story. So cool. If you like doing pirate voices, read Jolly Roger, The Pirates of Captain Abdul book by Colin Norton to your kids. All right, cool. I do like reading the pirate books, but on the theme of like just going out and stealing stuff from all over, it's a bit like, Yeah, strange era. But I've sailed from Germany to the Caribbean and back. I worked as an English teacher on a school ship, and it was an intense experience. It was not the pirate adventure that Kira and I had kind of imagined it would be. Lots of safety firsts and lots of conflict management and lots of teenagers. But it was really interesting, quite an experience to sail those waters and see the Caribbean. All right, that was the second 10 minutes. It's like it's transformed since the first 10 minutes ended. I won't go too long today. So let's say this is nearly done, as I'm managing all of the children. And I was up a bit too late last night, and I'll probably up early tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to sleeping. But thank you all for being here and drawing with me. Thank you, Akhil. Thank you, Deepti, for sharing it with us via the Museum by Sketchy app. If you're posting over on Museum by Sketchy, you can like at Dylan Sara me, and you can also use the hashtag drawing with Dylan, because I've been using it over there, and I've noticed some other people have used it too, which is cool. And if you would like to, I don't always get on there straight away. I usually I post to Instagram, I post to the Discord server, and then maybe tomorrow I post to Museum by Sketchy. Maybe tonight, we'll see. But if you keep an eye on my account on the Museum by Sketchy app, if I'm drawing someone whose photo was shared there, I will tag them, and then you'll and it connects to the reference photo, which is a really cool feature of Museum by Sketchy. And you'll be able to then see, oh, it was that photo, and you'll be able to add yours, tag it to the source photo as well, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, wherever you're sharing, you can tag me. I would love to see your work. And share in the Discord server, which is a great place. It has grown. It keeps growing. I'm really excited to see. This has been so much fun. I don't intend of ever stopping. And it's been really nice to see the Discord server grow, and people, like, not everyone is necessarily drawing every day like I am, but so long as I keep doing it, then you can all just come and join me. But it's really nice seeing people sharing their work there. I'll put the link in the chat in a moment. It's also in the description of the video. If you're watching the replay and that link is no longer valid, please just leave a comment and say the link's no good, and I'll update it with a new one. Oh, sometimes it's a bit darker than you want it to be. I thought that would just be a light little touch on the bottom lip. It's like, whoa, it's darker than I thought it was going to be. But then it's there. You can't do anything about it. But if I make the top lip a little bit darker, accentuate that a bit more, then it'll balance it out. You can put your drawing hand emoji in the chat. If you've noticed, like, my legs and arms are covered in wounds because I've been hedge trimming and just diving into thorns and stuff. It's been exciting. I deserve it. I'm not totally, like, I'm not killing any of the plants, but I'm just giving them a haircut before the birds start nesting. All right. Are we done? Is everyone else done? You finished? Here come the drawing hands. Lewis, Kiki, Oliver, Annette, Nicole, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. I'll get that Discord server chat. How was my voice today? Was it any different than every other day? Am I always leaning into the microphone? Deepti, Venugopal, blah.art.blah is on Instagram live right now. So if you post and tag Deepti here, where, then maybe she'll see it right now. But I don't want to be on Instagram. This is what happens. I have something to do. Like I want to go get the invite link to my Discord server. I open up the phone, and it's like, oh, Instagram. I'm like, oh, look who's online. Oh, look what's happening. And then you're just like, wait a minute. There was actually something I wanted to do. Does anyone else ever have that happen? Invite members. Copy link. Last time I checked, there were 280 people on the Discord server, which was really cool because in November there were 30 people, and now there's 280 people. There we go. My voice is so serene to listen to, and a relief from the news. Come here for the alternative news. Sometimes there's news, sometimes there's just musings, and there's always drawings. All right, I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone's work, and we will wasting so much time, but it's a thing, isn't it? That's also part of the reason why Discord is cool, because there's no advertising there. When you get into it, it's just like, okay, you're there for Discord, see who's posted to the daily chat, anything happening in the other conversations. Like I feel like it's really focused. So I know what I'm in for when I go into Discord. The 9 o'clock Muse. Welcome to the 9 o'clock Muse. That's a cool name for this stream, although it's different times on different days and in different time zones. But I think I'm done, right? I keep like seeing little bits. The longer you look, the more you see. Keep making it. It continues. I like what's going on here. It just looked like some pieces of fruit up on the cloth. Oh yeah, and that was the thing that I was going to say. I think blah.art.blah will probably will be our muse for tomorrow, I'm hoping. That would be nice. Thanks everyone. Sleep well. Thank you for drawing with me. I love you all. You're wonderful. And we'll do this again tomorrow, shall we? 9:30 Central European Time tomorrow. And if you're just joined, just before this ends, you can just watch the replay now. That'll be fun.